Welcome back to the 5th grade St. Boniface podcast. Tonight we have listened to some Bible verses, Genesis 21, 1 through 5, and Genesis 22, 1 through 18. And we've done some discussion on a couple of questions. So we would like to pose the first question, which is, what do you love the most? Would anyone like to talk about what you love the most and why you love it the most? All right, we have Owen. Go ahead.
I have two things, which would be an instrument and a pet of mine.
And a what?
And a pet of
And
mine.
a pet of yours. And why do those things mean a lot to you?
We've had the dog for a while. We got him during COVID after my other dog died. It's been a while.
Sure, what about the saxophone or the instrument?
It's actually kind of brand new. Been using it for a few weeks, and for some reason, I'm better than my brother. He's actually good at it, and he's actually good at trumpet and mellophone. And for some reason, I'm better than him at both with saxophone.
So is the saxophone something that you enjoy?
Yes.
Yes,
And
okay.
I love making sound and annoying myself.
Thank you, Owen. And now we have Tenny with her examples.
So my family, including my pets, are really important to me because whenever I'm having a bad day or like I got an answer wrong on a test, they always seem to be like there for me and help me through everything.
Kind of like support you through those
Yeah.
things, right? So I could see why those things would be super important to you. Very special. Thank you, Tenny. Now, Cyan, what do you got?
There's one thing that I really like, which is soccer, because I've been on the same team for like 4 years now, and like sometimes my team, we always support each other, and like we help each other, and like when someone gets hurt, we always help them, and after the game, we say good game to the other team, even though we won.
Very good. So I hear kind of a common theme of support. So some of our things, our people, or animals, or items that support us in some sort of way. All right, Jovan, go ahead.
3 things.
Sure.
1, my house. 2, my family. And 3, this one stuffed animal that I got, like, when I was really young.
So thinking about those things, why are they important to you?
Of course, my house, because where would I live
Sure.
without it?
Yep.
My family, because, 1, they're...
Do they support you? Kind of like we've heard our friends, and Tenny said her family supports her? Or like they're there for you?
Yeah.
And what about your last one?
Stuffed animal, because it's kind of just like sitting in my room every night, and it makes me feel good whenever I just look at it.
Sure, it's kind of a comfort, isn't it? Makes you feel good. Thank you, Jovan. Those were great examples. Next up, we have Miles.
One of my favorite things that I love is my home, my house, and my family, and my phone. I love my house because I don't know where I would live if I didn't have my house, and my family. I can't live by myself. And my phone, so I can keep intact with all my friends and stuff.
Very good. Thank you, Miles. I've heard also a couple of people say their home. I really like that example. It's important that we have that, right? All right, next we have Eamon.
Something that's really important to me is my 3rd degree rosary, serving, and my cross my grandma made for me. My 3rd degree rosary is very important to me because it was blessed and it was also touched by the arm of St. Jude. So it was the very first third degree relic I've ever had. And serving because it just enhances my faith, and I like just helping out with the church.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Eamon. And next up we have Harrison.
I would say food, shelter, and water.
And
They're the main things for living.
very good. I was going to ask you why, but you're right. They are the main things for living, right? They're very important. And next up we have Maya.
My family is probably the most important thing in my life because they support me and they take care of me, and I don't know what I would do without them.
Wow, that's great, Maya. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that was wonderful. Those are all super special and prized possessions. So as we were talking tonight, we talked about how it would feel if those things that you have picked out that are super special to you were broken or destroyed or taken away. Okay? Eamon, how would you feel if your items were taken away?
I would feel devastated because the third degree relic and blessed rosary was just one of the best things that ever happened to me, and it was the first relic I've ever had. And the serving, if it was taken away, I would just feel so sad because I've made so many friends with serving. I've had so much fun. And the events when you get invited to when you're serving, just want to make you serving more. So if that was taken away, that I would be very sad because I couldn't do those anymore.
That would definitely be impactful for you, wouldn't it, Eamon?
Yep.
All right, Tenny, how would you feel?
I'd feel crushed because my family is everything to me. Because my parents, again, they're respectful to me. They know when I'm sad. And yeah, it would just be really bad if they got taken away from me.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And so today we've been talking about the story of Isaac and Abraham and relating it to how we would feel if those most prized possessions were, asked by God to be taken away or given as sacrifice, right? That's a really, really big sacrifice. So as we think to that story, how do you think Abraham felt when God asked him to sacrifice his only son that he waited so long for? So Owen, as they're walking up the mountain, Abraham and Isaac, okay? Big deal, right? Big sacrifice. How do you think Abraham felt first?
He would have felt calm but also sad at the same time.
Why do you think he would have felt calm?
He would have felt calm because he's following God, he's trusting God. But he's also sad that he's sacrificing his only son that he waited 100 years for.
Can you even believe that? I can't even begin to fathom that.
Nope.
That's pretty wild. That's true faith, right? Mm-hmm. Trusting in God. Wow. Oh, and I love that perspective on how Abraham was probably feeling really heavy, sad, but also calm. Wow, what two conflicting feelings in one space, right? Eamon, I want you to think about how Isaac was feeling.
I think he was feeling before he knew he was going to be sacrificed. I think he was happy because he was going to make a sacrifice to God. But then when he saw there was no sheep, I think he was a bit concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, I think he got a little bit surprised that his father tied him up and put him on the altar for the Holocaust.
Yeah. Wow. That would have been a really heavy moment to experience. Thank you, Eamon. Jovan, what are your thoughts on how Isaac might have felt?
Hesitant because he was going to die, but not really sad because he knew he would be doing it for God.
Wow, that's really impactful. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Great thoughts, fifth graders. So let's move into our second question. We talked about why do we go to Mass, okay? So thinking about our story, okay, lots of sacrifice examples, right? we also related it to Jesus and God, how Jesus was God's only son, and he was sacrificed too, right? Lots of similarities. Luckily, today, we aren't asked by God to do those types of sacrifice. However, we are still asked to do types of sacrifice. So with that, Harrison, what type of sacrifice does God ask of us today?
Mass.
Mass. Very good. All right, Miles. So thinking about Mass being a sacrifice, why would you consider Mass a sacrifice? What do you sacrifice for Mass?
To come here and learn about God and his history.
So you come here to learn, right? Does that take some of your time?
Yeah.
Do you have other interests that you might be wanting to do with your time?
Yeah, probably baseball and football.
So some sports, right? Can you do sports when you're at Mass?
Mm-mm.
So do you sacrifice some of those sports for Mass?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is definitely an example of sacrifice for the Mass. All right, Amen, can you wrap us up with an example of sacrifice for the Mass?
Well, this is one for adults, fasting, because adults, they usually don't eat until they receive communion. So that's sometimes it's hard for adults to do.
Yes, very good, because we feel, hunger, right? Absolutely. 5th grade, incredible conversation tonight. Thank you so much for delving into Genesis yet again with us, and I look forward to our podcast next week. I forgot to mention our special guest, Soren, who had joined us tonight for our 5th grade faith formation. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Can you tell everybody to have a great week? Say no, thank you. It's okay. Have a great week.